People think that just the bags, just need the bags as far as completing a typical job, but it's really important, especially when you're selling value to the homeowner, to install the accessories as well. So whenever you're doing your prep, it's really important for you to consider the other items that you might need. One of which would be a rafter mate. This is a rafter mate baffle. This will be installed in the soffit locations to protect the intake ventilation. Alright, so this is really important because last thing you want to do is blow insulation over the top of their vents and risk the health of their roofing system. Okay? So really important that you install these properly. If they have continuous soffit ventilation, we recommend installing them at every other truss opening. Or if they have grate vents, meaning just single vent locations, we recommend you installing those just at those grate vent locations. There could be some other items up in the attic that you might protect with these. For instance, if there's an area around a chimney that needs to be plugged up, you would either use this or our Foamular, the pink foam board insulation, to plug those up. So those are a couple things to consider. On top of that, whenever you have a home that has recessed can lights, that thing can fly away, it's okay. When you have recessed can lights, we recommend installing the SmartCat recessed can light covers, as you see here. These recessed can light covers protect both kinds of recessed can lights. You have two types of recessed can lights. You have the non-IC rated, which say that they're okay for insulation contact, and then you have the non-IC rated, which means they're not okay for insulation contact. So let's first talk about the non-IC rated. Non-IC rated can lights will have a fire hazard. So when you cover them up with insulation, they don't have a shut-off valve, and therefore they can get really hot and possibly create a fire in that homeowner's attic. Okay, so that's one thing to understand. Now, the IC rated, meaning that they're okay for insulation contact, have a shut-off valve. So the reason why we recommend installing these smart caps over those as well is because if you blow insulation over there and you've got a homeowner that likes to leave their can lights on all day long, they'll start to flicker and then they will shut off. So then you'll have a maintenance call. The homeowner will call you back and say, hey, my lights are flickering, you broke my lights. When really you didn't break the lights, it's a little safety feature in there. So we recommend installing those over every single can light. The most common area that you find those is on a single-story home, is in a kitchen, a bathroom, or a hallway. And if you've got a two-story home, typically you're going to find them either in a hallway or the master bathroom, or a bathroom that's on the second floor. That's the area you would look at those. Other accessory items to consider installing. Before the job starts, you're going to install the attic rulers every 10 feet. As you can see, I've got the attic rulers installed here. You're going to install those every 10 feet, and that's so that your installers are blowing the correct amount of insulation. Now, when you do a takeoff, we've got our spreadsheet that some of you have seen in the past, or seen at some of our different trainings. That spreadsheet tells you exactly how many bags of insulation you need to blow. So if that spreadsheet tells you 20 bags of insulation, your crew should not be coming back with any bags that were not blown. That means that they shorted that homeowner in some area of that attic. So it's really important that if the spreadsheet tells you 20 bags are necessary, that you guys are blowing 20 bags. The other item that we would consider on every job is if you have a pull-down stair. We have our stairway insulator right here that would be installed after the insulation has been blown. This will just sit right over the top of that stairway opening to help insulate that opening. If you had to put a ladder up in a scuttle hole to get up in the attic, you're actually going to install one of our hatch insulators with just staples to that board that you have to move off to get up in that scuttle hole. Okay? And then the last part that's really important, one of the most important things we do is we recommend that you air seal that attic space. Because if you do not air seal that attic space, it does not prevent that air from transferring from one to the other. So increasing insulation will slow down that air transfer, but this right here will stop that air transfer and help really increase the efficiency of their home. So what you do is around any top plates, okay, you just run a bead of insulation, just like this, around any top plate. Saw how easy that was. That top plate, that's where the drywall meets the wall. And there's a little edge right there that you can get some air transfer there. You also would do this around any fan, any penetration like a fan, a chandelier, a light, a kitchen or bathroom fan. And all you would do in those areas, once again, you want to do a little bead of caulk around those areas because you don't want to compromise, but you would just come right in and air seal right around the edges of those items. Okay? The good thing about our insulation is that you don't need some of the other competitive brands. You need different types of insulation for different applications. This one right here can be used for windows and doors, so small gaps. It can be used for fire blocking as well. And on top of that, it can be used for air sealing, which is what you would typically use this type of product for. So this can be used for all those. You don't need to buy 3 different types of cans. One of these cans should last you about 4 attic jobs, okay? And when you're done, all you do is crack it off, throw it away, put the cleaner in, which we've got some cleaner on the table over there. Run the cleaner for 1 minute, take the cleaner out, put a new can on, you're ready for your next 4 jobs. You do not take the can out in between jobs. You leave the can in until it is completely empty, and will not get clogged up in this in the gun right there. Okay. So as far as that goes, that covers the prep. As far as prep, so the other thing you want to do is while you got one guy up in the attic doing prep, somebody let me borrow their blade earlier. The person who's out in the driveway is going to be cutting each bag in half, right down the middle, and then just breaking them over your knee, and then stacking them up next to the machine. Okay? So that's going to be your loader. Your loader is going to cut right down this dotted line, so it's very, very easy to cut right down the dotted line, and that portion fits exactly perfectly into the machine. Okay? So Nate, if you please hold the hose for me and point it in that direction, please. Thank you. All right. So as you can see, you've got your bag here, pre-cut, ready to go. Slides right into the opening. We've got a blade right here, a cutter right here that will cut through this bag as I push it in. All right, you don't want to jab it in, you don't want to push too hard. You just slide it right in. And then very important that you do not let the plastic go into the machine. Anybody that's done this before and just shoved it in without pulling out the plastic, this will clog the little flappers that are in there, the little pedals, and it will create the machine, the machine will stop at the safety. So do not put any plastic in the machine. And you saw I did not have to push really that hard to get the insulation into the machine. All right, and then once I've entered in, push this in the machine. As you can see, I have this plugged in just to a regular plug. Any plug that the homeowner has in their garage or on the exterior of their house, just a normal extension cord will work. As you can see, when the machine is on, the green light is on. If for some reason there was a fault, one of these other lights would come on, and all you would need to do would be hit the reset button down here to get the machine going. At this point in time, you'd wait for your counterpart up in the attic to tell you they're ready. I'm only using the short part of the code, but the person up in the attic has this very nice remote. All right, so Nate, if he's up in the attic, he doesn't even need my assistance at this point. He would hit either start or stop. Start being green, stop being red. Okay, but at this point, I'm going to do it on the machine. We're going to hit start. Couple of tricks that I'll show you guys. One of which is the hand method. So obviously we've got a lot of wind blowing here. If you ever want to just route the machine and control the flow, use this hand method right here. This really helps when you're getting into tight spaces of the attic or when you're working around the attic opening. When you use your hand like this, it controls the flow much better than when you take your hand off, it goes further. So if you're trying to control the flow, just use your hand. Obviously you're going to have a glove on, but this insulation does not itch. My hand is not itching at all right now, so you can do it with hand, but we recommend doing it with a glove. But you go in, and so I'm trying to get to this little closed section right here. Use my hand, I take the hand away to get to the further section. All right, so that's a really good trick to know and to share with your installer. But as you see, it blows really fast. All right, and it's not messy. I had a couple people mention to me that they've done cellulose in the past. Right now, if we were blowing cellulose, you guys wouldn't be able to see me. There'd be a cloud of dust around me, and I'd come jumping out as soon as this half bag was blown. But as you see, very little dust, especially when you're using the hand method that I'm using, okay? That's one really good way once again to control dust if you're in an area of the house where you might have some risk of it going back into the home. The great thing with this product is, as you can see, it fluffs up right out of the machine, so you don't have to do any fluffing once it's done. So as you can see, we're working up, and I'll show you right here, we're going to fill up right next to this cooler and work our way up towards the R60 level. The Department of Energy recommends that you flow R60 insulation into these homes to maximize their savings on energy, the comfort of their home, and extend the life of their HVAC system. So we always recommend bidding up to R60. So when you're done with this, basically have a seed of pink in these people's attic. You should never return the machine back to the distributor with any insulation in it. Always just blow the remaining insulation out into that attic, and that's the proper way to do it. Once again, Dave, will you please hit stop for me? So as you can see, we just blew a half bag of insulation. All right, that easy, that quick. I think it was probably less than a couple of minutes. All right. So
how much does a half bag cover?
Well, there's a coverage chart on every bag. Okay. So this tells you right here that this bag right here, all right, will get you up to R49 for 39 square feet. R49 for 39 square feet. There's a coverage chart there and also right here. But we've got an estimating tool, a spreadsheet that anybody that's been to one of these trainings in the past with RSG or any of our trainings at the plant, we've got a tool that you plug in the square feet of the attic and the amount of inches you want to install, and we tell you exactly how many bags you need. Once again, if you're using that tool, your crew should not be bringing back any bags of insulation if the attic is the size that you inputted into that system.
Is it, let me ask you, this might be a stupid question, but let's say that your guy overestimated a little bit. Is it bad to just go ahead and add a little bit more? I mean, the more, better.
It's not bad at all. And so typically what you'll see is some homes might have a chase, like through a chimney, or have some knee wall, side walls that you didn't account for. That's where you would stick any extra bags. But one, it's really important to have level insulation throughout the entire house. It's funny, sometimes we hear from people, oh, I just want to get it above my master bedroom. Well, you get above your master bedroom, and let's say you had 20 inches above your master bedroom, but still only 4 or 6 above your kids' room. You'd just be sending all that heat to your kids' room, and therefore making your home less efficient than actually it was. So you want to make sure you have a level amount of insulation around the entire attic. And that's actually a very good question.
Why are some baffles not rated? Not rated for heat.
The older can lights are the ones that are non-IC rated. And so those are the ones that were made before, I think it was in the mid-2000s, where they started offering the IC rated as a safety feature because they were having fire issues.
With that foam that you were sealing around can lights, fans, and whatnot, it's heat tolerant?
Yes.
So you can put it right up against a hot can and it'll be fine?
Well, as far as a hot can, you mean a hot can light?
Yeah, like if you got one with one of those aluminum casings, it's just hot as hell, one you couldn't put insulation against.
Yeah.
Is that stuff okay?
Well, you're actually, on those areas, you're going to put one of these smart caps, and you're just going to seal around the smart cap.
Okay.
So you'll just seal right around the edge of the smart cap for that. So you would not be putting it right there.
So you don't do that and then put the cap on, you do the cap and then seal
Correct.
it.
Correct. Good question. This is also a good thing for your roofing crews to have around, because a lot of you guys are using this product anyway. So if they've got one of these in the back of their truck, they might only need